The one other thing about Ecclesiastes, this is a little bit of trivia for you all, is that it is the book containing the most uses of the word business in the whole Bible. And the business God has given to us to be busy with, as you might imagine, is basically the job description of a session clerk, or it ought to be when the clerk isn't busy with the business that the minister, the congregation, the presbytery, and the General Assembly have given him to be busy with. It is the turning of a season in our church's life. There is a time for tireless service and sleepless nights, and a time for retirement and being able to choose the volunteer opportunities that spark along the way. There is a time for leading and a time for following, like the geese that change positions as they fly, which means in the turning of the season, we will have new leaders emerge to take the hard graft, so the one who's been out front for a while can rest for a bit. Now, Cameron is not leaving or moving away, and this is not his funeral. He's not disappearing. He's not disappearing from our eldership. He's stepping back from a particular role that he has been called to for a whole generation of our church family's life. But since he'll still be here, I have promised that this will not be a eulogy for a time of 3 ministers coming and going, a time for dropping off milk at a snowed-in manse before the induction could even happen, a time for taking bookings during COVID, a time for making announcements, a time for saying goodbye to longtime friends, a time for meetings, and more meetings, and longer meetings, and further meetings about the meetings, a time for saying watch your feet approximately 1,000 times per morning, and then still watching like a hawk every time someone gets within a meter of the chancel steps, a time for celebrating a perfect inspection of records, and another, and another, and another. And of course, a time for minister management, which, let's be real, that's most of the time. I do want to pause, though, and acknowledge the wide variety of times that have come and gone in our community under Cameron's leadership. I also want to pause and recognize the whole Melville family who have shared Cameron with us. They've arranged their own family life to fit in not just his actual full-time job, but also this full-time volunteer job. So thank you all for accommodating the hours, the angst, the work, the hope, the emotional labor he gave to us, and so was not as available to you, and to everything else that has come with 25 years of service in this way. You also have served us by letting him do that, so thank you. And of course, we all want to give thanks for the ways that Cameron has studied the rhythm so that we could continue to thrive in faith, hope, and love through it all. So I wonder if anyone would like to share a little bit of gratitude for Cameron's time as session clerk as this season turns to the next. Anyone want to tell him thanks for anything?
Thank you. Well, I moved back down to Zurich after I retired in 2019, and I remember coming into the church for the first time and speaking to Cameron, who was extremely helpful, shared his email address straight away, supported me, encouraged, when my husband came along at first too, encouraged us, and was always there just to give a wee bit of advice and give us information any time we needed it. And Cameron was the first face I saw, and I'll always be grateful for that. And that's the reason why I'm in St John's today, because I really appreciate the help and information he's given me and support over these years. So thank you, Cameron. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Tom, who you all know, maybe you don't know, Tom doesn't read in front of people. I asked him specifically today, so thank you for that.
I think Cameron knows what's coming. I'm just so grateful for getting in the right direction. I had to leave the fire brigade on age, in about 1997, and then I left the IBM in about 2000. And then up to see Cameron one night, and he says, "How do you fancy doing a wee bit of work in the church?"
A wee bit.
A wee bit of work. 25, 26 years later, I'm still doing a wee bit of work in the church. I'm so grateful for it all the time. I've really enjoyed every part of it. Thank you very much, Cameron.
Thank you. A wee bit. Just so you all are aware, Tom is in this church like every single day of the week. Amazing. Any other gratitudes today that you would like to share? Oh, sorry. Allison?
Yeah, well, a bit like Alison, when we came to the church, when we came to this church, we came from another church, which had been our family church. We had a young family, and I think Cameron was one of the first people to speak to us and encourage us, and we definitely made the right decision, and I count Cameron now as one of our close friends, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, can you hold both of those by any chance? Thank you.
I would just like to say, when I became an elder, I felt very supported by Cameron. I suppose I might be one of the younger elders, I don't know, but he's been very encouraging throughout all the years, allowed me to feel as if I can speak what I think and not hold back, and also made meetings not so boring, or made them joyful, and we've had a bit of fun as well. But we're allowed to tell the truth and speak our mind and feel very supported in that. So thank you, Cameron.
Thank you. Would you like me to hold this for you, or are you okay?
Thank you. I would just like to thank Cameron for everything he has done for everyone. No matter what you ask him, he deals with it. And I would like to thank him very much for that. Also, I remember him when he was a wee boy, and he came down to Marigold Tea Room with his mummy and his granny, and he had a couple of your wee brother. And remembering these things are absolutely wonderful. Your mother was a blessing. Thank you, and so are you. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Remember, you have to use this because otherwise he can't hear you. Can you hold both of those for me?
Both together.
Yeah, thank you.
When we moved to Goole over 20 years ago, I had two little ones, and I came to St John's, and Cameron was a big feature and so helpful and supportive. And I remember saying to my husband, Cameron's our session clerk, because he was asking after you. Now, he's a mad, daft Partick Thistle supporter, Cameron. And he knew you were a mad, daft Morton supporter. And he also knew you were a referee. So you're a legend in his lifetime. So there you go. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh. Hold these together.
Hold them together, right, okay, yeah. Okay. Yes, I too just want to thank Cameron for everything that he's done for St John's Church. I also just like to say that any time my father attended the service here, he always spoke very highly of Cameron, and he was a former session clerk himself, so he knows what he's talking about.
Thank you. Any others? Hold on to both of those. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just as you know, the Holiday Club's about to start this week, and looking back, we've run many holiday clubs, but over the years, particularly when there's been no ministers and things, we've had some times where things have maybe been a bit more difficult running those clubs, and we've always had superb support from Cameron. As I said, there's been quite a few years between ministers when we've been trying to run them ourselves, and Cameron's always given us huge encouragement and allowed us to carry on and allowed this church to flourish even between when we had ministers, and I think it's a great credit to you, Cameron, that we have got over those times and followed through into better times afterwards. So thank you very much.
I don't know what could have given away that the holiday club is about to start, but any other things people would like to share? Cameron, I heard that you might have a few words. Is that true?
That's okay.
Of course. That's great. Can you also pin this for the recording? Thank you.
Moderator, ladies and gentlemen. Declan stayed with us last night, and when I wakened him up this morning, his first question was, "Where are Mummy and Daddy?" I said they were at home. His second question was, "Are you nervous, Papa?" And he gave me a hug. Although I didn't know it at the time, this journey for me began in the late 1960s. In the front passenger seat of the car belonging to the Reverend Robert Lenny. I would have been 10 years old, and for some reason Mr. Lenny, his son George, and I were going out in his car. Mrs. Lenny was probably fed up with us making a mess of the manse. Mr. Lenny was going down the drive of the former St. John's manse, which is now the drive of St. John's Manor. And he said to me, "Cameron, let me know if it's okay on your side." Which was fine. Mr. Lenny was to look right, and I was to look left. I said, "You're okay, Mr. Lenny?" So he pulled out onto Bar Hill Road, and that was when it became apparent to Mr. Lenny that instead of me looking left, I had also looked right.
Exactly that.
The car coming down Bar Hill Road blasted its horn. Thank you, Philip. But thankfully managed to stop just in time. I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then Mr. Lenny eventually spoke. "Are you okay, Cameron?" No anger, nothing. A time to be silent and a time to speak. You'll know the next time to look left. Mr. Lenny moved to Aber Lady the year after, and I hope and pray to this day it had nothing to do with me. Only years later did it occur to me about the warmth, the gentleness, and the compassion of that moment. I had nearly caused a collision, but Mr. Lenny was more worried about me than his car. And it has had such an impact on me that we still reenact that moment when we drive down St. John's Road. When we get to the junction, I'll say to Hazel, "Cameron, let me know if it's okay on your side." And Hazel replies, "You're okay, Mr. Lenny." I've also been blessed that those following Mr. Lenny, Ian Strachan, Neil McNaught, Jill Clancy, Glenn Chestnut and Terry have all supported me down the years. I've also been blessed during 3 vacancies to have had excellent support from interim moderators, Bill Armstrong, Bill Hewitt and David Butt, also the likes of Johnston Mackay, and more recently from Reverend Jeanette Peel and from Charlene in her role as pastoral assistant. Where is she? Oh, she's there. I also want to thank you, Terry, for how you adapted during COVID. Apart from taking on responsibilities which should have been mine, and for ensuring that all safety measures were adhered to here in St. John's, You learned and mastered how to put our services online and still do in a very personal and comforting manner. Way back in 2017, I thought that the day David Butt and I met Terry for the first time at the church and showed her around the manse might be the last. By that stage, my hearing was deteriorating. It was windy outside the St John's Road door, and when David introduced us, I was sure he said, "This is Kerry Peterson." So that was what I called Terry for the rest of that day. David then phoned me to say that he thought Terry seemed very interested, although she was going to another church that day. I said, "That's great news, but don't you mean Kerry?" Anyway, we managed to get that sorted out before the notice went up on the front door at Bass Street. It has been a privilege to serve as Session Clerk, and I do have some people I want to thank. Terry, for putting up with me for longer than either Jill or Glenn had to. To our two assistant Session Clerks during those 25 years, Ken Stirling and Alan Aitken. Alan spearheaded the Tower Restoration Project and organised KIP session conferences, among other things. Tom, who I gently persuaded, as you heard earlier, to take over the Works Party over 20 years ago. To Anne Love for the added responsibilities that she has taken on since David Smith stepped down as Treasurer due to ill health. And to Joe Heffernan for all the quiet work behind the scenes as property convener and safeguarding convener.
Good inside voices, thank you.
And now, the difficult bit.
Thank you for your inside voice, I love it.
I want to thank you, the St John's family, for looking after me and looking out for me through happy and sad times and through life and death. I could not have done this for 25 years without your warmth and encouragement and understanding. I want to thank Hazel, Claire and Laura for their support and understanding, because they've always been there for me, and thank you, Terry, for recognising that. Over recent months, you'll have noticed that I've been missing on quite a few Sundays. Our son-in-law, Brendan, works away for 3 weeks out of 4, and I not only wanted to support Declan at his football, but felt it was important to be there when his daddy was away. There is a time to step back and a time to move on. And so we welcome Shona and Graham to the role of joint session clerks here at Gourock St John's. Shona isn't here, but to Shona and to Graham, I wish you every blessing as you take on this position of great responsibility, and I will be here if you need any help. And I know that you, Ben and Alison, and your families will welcome the prayers, support and encouragement from the congregation in the coming days, weeks, months and years. May God be with both of you and your families. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Cameron. We have something for you, of course, if the people who are in charge of bringing out one part would do so.
She's a wee baby.
Now, of course, we have two things. We have this wee stack for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And you'll find a little surprise the next time Claire teaches you how to use your bank app. But first, very importantly, we have a lovely cake. You better come over here so Tom can take a picture of you with it. You probably have to hold it up or something. He'll want you to
Thank you.
gesture at it. It does say, "Thank you for 25 years, Cameron Session Clerk." All right, now, Declan, you come in on this side and I'll get out this picture. Oh, I thought I was going to get out of it. Okay, now, Mr. Clark, you may recall that at my induction, we sat up here in those ridiculous thrones, and someone who will not remain nameless stole my cake from the other end of the communion table.
Because you had enough.
I didn't have any. And then I had none. It was sitting in front of me, and then it was gone. So, we got you this cake. And a knife so that you can cut it for the pictures.
Okay.
And a fork, because who's getting the first bite of this cake?
You. Yeah.
Me. I'm kidding, I'm not really going to do that. Hazel is like absolutely appalled. But I do want you to know that I have been holding that grudge for 8.5 years about my stolen cake.
It was one of the best cakes I've ever tasted.
Of course it was. I wouldn't know. So this opens up so that you can cut this cake, which then everyone gets to eat at coffee.
No? Okay.
You have to look up.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Now, stay right there. But I'm going to stand over here so I'm not on the camera, but you are. As you look back on the times and seasons of your tenure as Session Clerk, may you know the blessing of a job well done. Through hard times and harder times, through joyous celebrations and griefs that no one else was allowed to see, through confidences kept and prayers shared. In the times ahead, may you know the blessing of a full night's sleep, of proofreading someone else's minutes, of knowing that my shenanigans are someone else's responsibility. May you move from a season where everything is full on to a season with a bit more rest, from a season of bearing the weight to a season of letting others take some of the load, knowing that you will still be about God's business, just in a new way. With gratitude for your countless and mostly hidden hours of work, we wish you the blessing of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit for all the days and times and seasons to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
As this season of our church life turns and gives way to the next, we also ask for God's blessing on the next chapter of leadership. So Shona's not here due to a death in her husband's family, creating a knock-on effect in the diary, but Graham's here, and she knows she's missing this. I said, we're blessing you by proxy. We don't even do proxy in the Presbyterian system, but we are today. So Graham, stand up and pretend to be both you and Shona. But also turn this way because there's a camera over there. Thank you. So that our online family can join in later on. So thank you, Graham and Shona, who's not here, for responding to the Holy Spirit's call to serve. As you pick up the baton from Cameron's years of faithful service, may God bless you with wisdom and compassion, with deep faith and clear vision, with persistence and attention. As you begin this new role, may you know the blessing of the Spirit upholding you and your colleagues supporting you. Looking ahead with hope, may you enter this season with the joy of the Lord, passion for the gospel, love for Christ's body, the church, and patience for the sheer number of emails. Amen. Thank you. Friends, we have heard of people giving generously of their time, which is one of our most precious resources. And now we also are given the opportunity to give of our other resources through our offering. Today, your offering will be received by all the usual people, I suspect. Graham has the card machine, if that is the way you are able to give. Tom and Brian have the offering bags. And there is special offertory music today, so your morning offering will now be received.